There's a kind of person that everyone around them relies on. They're the one who picks up the phone at 2 a.m., the one who remembers what you said 3 weeks ago when you were hurting, the one who shows up quietly, consistently, without being asked, exactly when someone needs them most. And yet, if you ask them how they're doing, genuinely ask, look them in the eye and wait for a real answer, something strange happens. They pause. They deflect. They smile in a way that is practiced and smooth and reveals almost nothing. And they say, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. And they mean it, not because they are fine, but because somewhere along the way, they stopped believing that their pain deserved the same space they so freely gave to everyone else's. If this is you, if you are the person everyone leans on and yet the person no one truly knows, what you are about to hear is not a diagnosis. It is a recognition. A mirror held up to something in you that has been real for a very long time, but rarely, if ever, named. Because the psychology behind why you give so freely and ask for so little is not a flaw in your character. It is a map of everything you've been through and everything your mind learned in order to survive it. Let's begin with something most people never think to question. You did not choose to become the person everyone leans on. It happened gradually, in small moments, in early experiences where the lesson, spoken or unspoken, was that your needs were secondary, that keeping the peace mattered more than telling the truth about how you felt, that being needed was safer than being vulnerable. Psychologists call the pattern that emerges from these early lessons compulsive caregiving. It is not the same as simply being a kind person. Kindness is a choice made from a place of wholeness. Compulsive caregiving is a strategy built by a younger version of you to create safety, connection, and worth in a world that didn't always offer those things freely. The person who becomes a caretaker for everyone else often grew up in an environment where emotional needs were either dismissed, ignored, or met only conditionally, where love felt like something you had to earn through usefulness, where expressing your own pain either burdened the people around you or was simply not safe. So you adapted. You became fluent in everyone else's emotions. You learned to read a room before you walked fully into it. You learned to make yourself helpful, indispensable, steady, because steady was the one thing that was always valued. And it worked. People came to you. People trusted you. People called you strong. And you called yourself strong too. But here's what nobody said out loud. The strength wasn't natural. It was constructed, built brick by brick out of quiet decision. Made so early you don't even remember making it. That your pain was something to manage privately and other people's pain was something to show up for. Now let's talk about what is actually happening inside you, because there are specific psychological layers to this pattern, and each one deserves to be seen clearly. The first layer is something called emotional parentification. Emotional parentification happens when a child, at whatever age, begins to take on responsibility for the emotional well-being of the adults or people around them. Maybe your parent was struggling, and you learned to monitor their moods before your own needs. Maybe there was instability in your home, and you became the stabilizing force. Maybe you were simply the responsible one, the oldest one, the capable one, and over time, that role became your entire identity. When a child is parentified, they learn something that follows them for the rest of their life. My role is to hold things together, not to fall apart. And so falling apart, even privately, even alone, begins to feel like a kind of failure. Like abandoning a post you were never officially given, but feel completely responsible for. You carry this into adulthood without realizing it, into friendships where you're always the one who checks in first, into relationships where you intuitively manage the other person's emotions while your own sit quietly in a corner, waiting for a moment that never quite arrives, into your own inner life, where the idea of asking for help feels not just uncomfortable, but almost structurally wrong. Like it violates something in the architecture of who you are. The second layer is a deeply distorted relationship with worthiness. Here is the quiet belief that lives at the center of this pattern, rarely spoken and almost never consciously acknowledged. I am worthy of love and connection when I am useful. When I stop being useful, I am not sure what I am worth. This is not a belief you chose. It was installed in you by experience, by the times your needs were overlooked, by the moments when you were praised not for who you were, but for what you did for others, by the subtle but powerful message, received over years, that your value was relational, meaning it existed in relation to what you contributed, not in relation to who you simply were. And so you give. You give because giving feels like proof of worth. You give because it creates connection. You give because the alternative, being still, being needy, being without something to offer, feels dangerously close to being nothing at all. This is not weakness. This is a survival strategy so sophisticated, so deeply embedded in your sense of self that it has become nearly invisible to you. You don't experience it as fear. You experience it as personality, as generosity, as just being who you are. But underneath it, if you sit quietly enough to feel it, there is a person who is exhausted, who has been holding everyone else's weight for so long that they have forgotten what it feels like to put it down. The third layer is what psychologists call hypervigilance toward others. Because you grew up learning to manage the emotions of people around you, your nervous system became extraordinarily attuned to other people's states. You can sense tension in a room before anyone has spoken. You can feel when someone is off, not from anything they said, but from something almost imperceptible in their energy. You anticipate needs before they are expressed. You respond to pain before it is named. This is not a superpower you were given. It is a survival skill you developed when your environment was emotionally unpredictable. Learning to read others with precision was a way of staying safe, of anticipating what was coming before it arrived. The cost of this extraordinary sensitivity toward others is that it almost always comes paired with radical inattentiveness toward yourself. You are so focused outward, so practiced at tracking everyone else, that the signals from your own inner world get filtered out before they can fully register. Your own exhaustion feels like something to push through. Your own sadness feels like an inconvenience. Your own needs feel, somehow, less real than everyone else's. The fourth layer is a profound fear of being a burden. If you grew up in an environment where expressing your needs created problems, where your vulnerability made someone else uncomfortable, impatient, or overwhelmed, you learned very quickly to keep those needs invisible, and invisibility became safety. Now, as an adult, the idea of asking for help carries a weight that is entirely disproportionate to the actual request. It is not just asking for help. It is risking the revelation that you need something, that you are not fully sufficient, that you have limits. And somewhere in the architecture of your psychology, that revelation feels catastrophic, as if it will cost you the connection and respect of the people you care about most. So you carry things alone, heavy things that would be so much lighter if shared. And you carry them silently, because the alternative, being seen in your need, being witnessed in your incompleteness, feels more dangerous than the weight itself. The fifth layer is an identity that has become synonymous with strength. Over time, being the strong one became not just a role, but a self-concept. People call you reliable, unshakable, the one they always know they can count on. And while part of you is tired of carrying that label, another part of you holds on to it fiercely. Because if you are not the strong one, who are you? This is perhaps the deepest layer of all, because it means that allowing yourself to be supported doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It feels like a threat to the self, like dismantling something structural. Like if you let one wall down, everything might collapse. But here's the truth that psychology and neuroscience are beginning to confer with increasing clarity. The people who cannot receive care are just as cut off from genuine connection as the people who cannot give it. Relationships require reciprocity, not perfect balance, but genuine mutual access. And when you make yourself permanently unavailable for receiving, you create an invisible wall between yourself and the people who love you most. They can reach you, but they cannot reach into you. And so even surrounded by people who care, you remain fundamentally alone. Here's a reframe, and it matters. Everything described here was built for a reason. Your caregiving is not fake. Your sensitivity is not performance. Your strength is real. It was forged in conditions that required it, and it has served both you and the people around you in ways that are genuinely profound. But the strategy that kept you safe then is costing you something now. It is costing you the experience of being fully known, of being held, not just being the one who holds, of receiving the same quality of care that you so naturally and generously extend to every single person in your life. Asking for help is not weakness wearing the disguise of vulnerability. It is the bravest thing a person who is taught that their needs don't matter can do. It is the act of contradicting the deepest and earliest lesson your nervous system ever learned. And the people who deserve to be in your life, the ones truly worthy of the extraordinary care you give, will not think less of you for needing something. They will think more, because they will finally be allowed to love you back. You have spent so long making sure no one around you goes without. So long being the lighthouse for everyone else that you forgot lighthouses also need maintenance. They also need someone to come and check that the light hasn't begun to dim. Your light has not gone out, but it deserves tending. Not because you are broken, not because you have failed at being strong, but because you are a person, a full, complete, deeply feeling person. And people are not meant to carry everything alone, even the strongest ones, especially the strongest ones. Let someone in, not because you need to be saved, but because you deserve to be known. If something in this video felt uncomfortably accurate, if it named something you've carried quietly for longer than you can remember, this channel exists for exactly that. Stay close. There is more here for the people who give everything and ask for nothing.